Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I apologize for my long absence. I've been busy all last month with work and everything, and I haven't had any time to really make any new content for you guys. But I'm back now, and hopefully I'll be more active this month around because, uh, I got to make up for the lost time that I didn't really get to bring you guys any content for August, and I really feel bad about that. So anyway, as promised, I'm bringing you guys a brand new deck profile. This time it's on Phantasm Spirals. So for those who are not familiar with this deck, this is a water deck, but it's also a form of control deck, and you mainly take advantage of normal monsters and tokens. So the point of the idea is like, you want to run a lot of stun cards while also trying to like keep, hitting your opponent with a bunch of normal monsters, usually around the 2000k attack point power. And what's also cool about this deck is that this deck is really good at protecting its back row. So yeah, it gets pretty nuts. And not to mention you're running cards like Skill Drain and Underdog. And Underdog's really funny in this deck because it does not affect me at all because, you're playing normal monsters. But anyway, figured I'd just, get started, and yeah, I'll show you guys what I got. So this is a 40 card deck, of course, and the only monster you're going to be playing in this main deck is 3 copies of Megalo Smasher X, and to go along with them, 3 copies of Fossil Dick, since he is a dinosaur monster. Now, you could run like the Big Boss monster too if you wanted to, but you had to run all the other equipped spells. But in my build is mostly just, play Megalo Smasher X and a bunch of stun cards. So anyway, that's the idea with him, and this guy's going to be like one of your main win conditions. You will be banishing him quite a lot, him or the tokens, for the effect of one of the trap cards we'll be playing, which I'll get to momentarily. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the monster. So moving on, you're going to be running 3 copies of Pacifis, this Phantasm City, I'm sorry. So what this card is, like most water field spells, are always going to be treated as Umi. So the card, the effect reads is that you cannot normal or special summon effect monsters the turn you activate either of its effects, which again is not even a problem anyway because you're not going to be doing that whatsoever. If you normal summon or special summon exactly 1 normal monster and no other cards, you can add 1 Phantasm Spiral card from your deck to your hand. So this is basically the easiest way to search out all your trap cards. Also, whenever your opponent, and oh, by the way, that part is a once per turn effect. And it's a soft once per turn too. Now, the other effect is that it's not a once per turn whatsoever as long as you control no other tokens when this happens. So the card reads is that whenever your opponent activates a card or effect, except during damage step, you control no tokens, you can special summon 1 Phantasm Spiral token, Worm type, water, level 8 with 2000 attack and 2000 defense. And again, you can take advantage of the trap card too to banish the token to protect your back row. And also, you can always special summon another token as long as you have no other tokens available. So this is pretty good just to kind of wall up and keep yourself, just apply some pressure to your opponent, basically. Moving on, I'm also running 1 copy of Mystic Mind. It's just a good going second card. And to go along with these, 1 Terraforming. And that's pretty much it for that. So, yeah. I'm running 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. I was about to say Extravagance, but no, not the right card. Pot of Prosperity. You could run Extravagance if you wanted to. Extravagance is a really good budget alternative if you want to run this. Even Pot of Duality is really good too. So if you don't have any of those 2 cards, yeah, Pot of Duality should do you just fine. Running 2 copies of Fury of Kyrushin. This just to add a copy of Torrential Tribute from your deck to your hand, and if a water monster you control would be destroyed by battle or a card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So it's a good way just to, protect your water monsters. And to round up our spells, 1 copy of Card of Demise. Yeah, Pot of Prosperity has that effect where you can't draw any more cards for the duration of the turn, or during the turn you activate it, but Card of Demise is just like a secondary option in case if I don't see it. It's just a good way to enable myself some card advantage. So yeah, Card of Demise, really pretty good, Try it out when you get a chance. Alright, so from here on out, it's really just going to be trap cards, and there's a lot of them. So starting off with the Phantasm Spiral ones, you're going to be running 3 copies of Phantasm Spiral Battle. So if all monsters you control are normal monsters, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. And if Umi is on the field, you can activate this card from your hand. So it's actually really nice. Just, the fact that you can just activate it from hand without having to set it, it's pretty nuts. And then also you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 normal monster you control, equip it with the equip that normal monster with all Phantasm Spiral equipped spells, which again, you're not going to be running any of those, so that effect isn't too relevant. Next, 2 copies of Phantasm Spiral Power. So same conditions, if you control all normal monsters, at least just 1, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls until the end of the turn. It loses 1,000 attack points and defense points. It also has its effects negated. So basically, this is a built-in impermanence, and it's searchable too, so that's pretty nice. I'm also running 2 copies of Sea Stealth Attack. I was running it at 3, but I didn't feel like I needed to simply because I usually see it all the time anyway, and plus you could easily dig this out with Pot of Prosperity, so I think 2 is more than enough. But basically what you do with this card is that when it's activated, you can activate Umi from your hand or graveyard, so if your opponent happens to get rid of your field spell, you can always bring it right back. But the most relevant effect is this. Once per turn, you can banish 1 water monster you control until the end phase this turn. Face-up spells and traps you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, even if this card leaves the field. So that's pretty nice. So even if they chain Cosmic Cyclone for whatever reason, your cards will still be protected. Now, of course, your water monster will come back at the end phase, so that's pretty nice. Also, at the start of the damage step, if your water monster whose original level is level 5 or higher, again, this is where the tokens come into play, and if it battles your opponent's monster, you can destroy that monster before, damage calculation is set. So it's pretty good just to get some free removal. Moving on, 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. Really good because you can activate it at any given time. 2 strikes, just because, you gotta pay life points for these things. And of course, 1 copy of Fist of the Unrivaled Tinier. So pretty much does the same thing as Judgment. The only difference is that it actually negates monster effects, not summons. And also, when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated while you control a face-up non-effect monster, negate the activation, and if you do, special summon 1 non-effect monster from your graveyard, which is optional, but I'm not going to be doing that whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, I could technically, but I'm just choosing not to. All right, so now we're moving on to the Floodgates. The Floodgates are pretty interesting. So just give me 1 second here. Okay, so starting off with 2 copies of There Can Be Only One. This is pretty good because all your monsters are going to be different types, like dinosaur and worm. 2 copies of Summon Limino, just to stop not control decks, combo decks. And of course, new edition, 2 copies of Underdog. It's basically a one-sided skill drain, and depends on whose turn it is. If it's your turn, your opponent's effect monsters are going to be negated. So again, it doesn't affect me too much because again, my whole deck is normal. So yeah, 1 skill drain. 2 copies of Torrential Tribute and a Metaverse, just so I can get access to my field spells a little faster. And Torrential Tribute is just a really good blowout card, I mean. So yeah. All right, so that's pretty much it for the main deck. Let me go and get the extra deck ready. All right, so the extra deck is pretty self-explanatory. Most of it's just going to be fodder for Prosperity. So starting off with Link Spider, since, you are running normal monsters. Link Revo does come out sometimes, whenever I go against the dinosaur matchup, because, they like to give you that token. You can just link it off for a Link Revo. 1 Mistar Boy, it's just really there to be there. 1 Area. 1 Geonator Transverser, which I'm thinking of just cutting for maybe for one of the non-effect monsters in my collection, but I'm trying to figure that out. 1 Nightmare Phoenix. Infinitrack Fortress Megaclops. This is mainly for Waking the Dragon. Pretty much most of what I have is for Waking the Dragon. So Borrelsword Dragon, 5-headed Link Dragon because he's just huge. Necheria Exterio. What else we got here? Oh, to deal with Dogmatica players, which everyone should be running this package in some form or another if you're running a control deck. Entes and Omega. So yeah, like I said, just to deal with the Dogmatica matchups. Abyss Dweller, Ultimate Falcon, and Zeus, I figured why not. All right, so that's it for the extra deck. Now moving on to the side deck. Side deck's pretty self-explanatory too. I'm running 3 copies of Ash, just in case if I need to go that route. For going second cards, I'm running 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. It can be Forbidden Droplets if you want to do that, but I'm just doing it just so I can break the boards. Another good way just to apply some pressure to your opponent is Heat Wave. I was thinking of main decking that, honestly, but I'm still debating whether I should or not. 2 Cosmic Cyclone. 3 copies of Goes in Match, because, it is a water deck, and this actually shuts down quite a few strategies, so Goes in Match is actually pretty good just to deal with that. And as I mentioned, 2 copies of Waking the Dragon. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah. Anyway, hopefully you guys like this deck, and I'll catch you guys next time.